You know, a lot of people that were coming in to do basketball, we'll say at that time, were not always that knowledgeable about the game. And you had that knowledge. And so it was really refreshing to to talk to you, to be around you and everything, because you understood the game. Where a lot of these people that maybe because they were younger, or just coming into the profession, but they didn't really understand the game, and so that made it a little bit more difficult. And what's and I mean, I grew up loving the game because of my dad. I knew the history, and I can go back, to the 50s. I mean, I grew up with a basketball in my hand, so I know the history. How do you take the young players today? They don't know the history. They're talented, but they don't know. They don't. I would. I was just honored in Los Angeles as the honorary captain last Friday night's game. They don't. I bet you 2/3 of them on the Laker team didn't know who I was.
Right.
Well, I'll tell you. Actually, this actually happened, and I won't. And it's sort of funny, I mean, here I'm the honorary captain, whatever, and the game is, and that's okay, I'm almost 80 years old. I don't mind it all, but I'm standing there, and they're going to introduce the Lakers, the starting lineup, and I'm standing there with them, and I got to do a Laker warm up and everything, and Ham, the coach, okay, the new coach, he's a rookie, so he says hello to me. I say hello. He says, "How you doing?" I said, "I'm doing fine." I says, "How?" Wait a minute. This is the actual conversation. I says, he says, "How you doing?" I said, "Fine." He says, "And you?" He says, "Oh, I'm good." I said, "Yeah, you're living the American dream." He said, "I am." And he said to me, then he says, "Who are you? What's your name?" And
God.
and I said,
Oh my
I introduced myself. I'm Gail Goodrich, and I said, "I know who you are. I used to watch you play." And he laughed, But it's interesting because here's, I mean, I don't know, I don't know how old he is, but he didn't, he played. He's a good player, but he didn't know who I was. And
Yeah.
that's okay.
How about
That's okay.
Corbin?
I don't mind that. I just find it interesting that the players today really don't know the players of yesterday.
It's sad. It's sad in his case because, like, hey, Darvin, see the court and then see the rafters. You might figure out who's who.
I'm not, going after him in particular or anything like that. It just illustrates that the young players, they have no idea, and they also have no idea what the players of yesterday, and even the players before me, went through to get where they are. Exactly.
No, it's a shame. I'm going to leave it at that. Darvin, Ham is whatever, doesn't know the game. I mean, you're a coach in the league, you would hope, but you know what? They had the voting. The coaches, active coaches, and past coaches voted on the top 15 coaches of all time.
Yep.
And they did not have Alex Hannum among the top 15, and they didn't have John Condola, who only won 5 championships with Minneapolis. They didn't have them on the list. So I like you guys. You guys are like, it's a worthless vote. But meanwhile, they had Doc Rivers. I mean, I want to throw up.
Well,
but
come on, that's a little bit characteristic of how all these votes go, because everybody has a memory that is short and doesn't know the history. I mean, I can tell you, the Lakers only this year have honored George Mikan by putting his retired jersey up.
Individual, the individual. They had the Minneapolis Lakers Hall of Famers up there on one jersey, which is a joke. Slater
Yeah.
Martin, all those guys, they deserve their own jerseys. They're in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
They should have their own jerseys.
Yeah.
So it's
Anyway,
still,
yeah.
let me leave you on this. Did you ever dunk in a game?
No.
Can you dunk? Did you dunk?
I dunk. No, I never tried. I dunk a couple of times in practice when I was at UCLA, and I used to take the ball. I timed the when I was under the basket. I could time it where I could catch it and just about dunk it on a rebound, an offensive rebound.
Right.
But I never dunked because I learned from Wooden. If you don't dunk unless you're absolutely sure that you can dunk it, and if you don't miss it, don't miss it if you're playing for John Wooden, because that's and so I never I just lay it up. If you can't lay it up, then maybe I shouldn't be shooting it. But yeah.
All right.
So one thing I could do though is I could jump up and grab the rim, come down, and go right back up like a pogo stick.
And touch it again?
10 times in a row.
10 times in a row.
Oh. Yeah, so that was a quick jumper, and if you look at a lot of rebounders, and I tell you that Elvin Hayes was one of the best. He was so quick off his feet. Bill Russell was quick off his feet. Wilt Chamberlain had to gather and jump. And so when you're driving to the basket offensively, Wilt was easy to shoot over because I could see when he was going to gather, and I could, either shoot it quickly or pass it or whatever. But Bill Russell, you better know where he is because he was quick off his feet. He was quick off his feet. And if you didn't see him or didn't know where he was, pretty soon you knew he was going to be there. And whether he blocked it or just altered the shot, it's the same as a block shot.
Hello everyone, I spend a lot of time trying to get you guys nice videos, so please subscribe to this page. Thank you.